Nobody is afraid of Jasmine Crockett because of her authenticity.
And that is actually what they are fearful of, is my authenticity, because it rings true with every single American, whether they're a Texan or not. It rings true that I am fighting for real everyday people. And instead of talking about policy, when you're talking about the record speaks for itself, baby, let's talk about your record. Because the only reason you're the vice president is because the current president tried to have his last vote. Let's talk about qualifications.
Wow. Okay, first of all, nobody is afraid of Jasmine Crockett because of her authenticity. The scariest thing about Jasmine Crockett is that there are people who actually listen to this woman and support her. Like, saying that this woman got a law degree is not a flex. It just actually proves how low the standards have gotten in our public education system. And second of all, how does she come up with this stuff when she says that the current president tried to have the last president unalive? Here's the thing. We know that everything Democrats say about Republicans, about the right, is pure projection. Everything they accuse the right of, they are either currently doing themselves or they have done, and it's usually 10 times worse. But there's also like a method to the madness. It's got to be at least somewhat believable. But Jasmine Crockett just spews things out without even considering that might be too far for even the dumbest of her supporters to believe. Like, we know whose side has tried to unalive the other side's president and who currently wants that to happen. But ultimately, hope eventually she is slapped with lawsuits because of just all of the crap that she spews and the absolute blatant lies that come out of her mouth.
And a friend?
Yes, you know Jade hit a nerve when this lady can't even sleep. If you remember, few days ago, Jade Vance roasted her to a level not seen before. She's moving around, talking about this. Jasmine is running for Senate, campaigning with this liberal media is already failing based on my observations. She actually said something. I don't know if this is a new song or what exactly is this. She repeats this every single time.
To sit here and be distracted by haters. Every time you can't go to policy and you got to go to my looks, you got to go to how I dress, you got to go to how I talk. That's telling me that you ain't got nothing that you want to talk about, because I'm ready to go toe to toe. And frankly, I don't know why JD Vance wants to talk about looks. Like, we really not going to go there, because I'm sorry, because people haven't been making memes about me and mascara and all this other kind of stuff. Like, that's not what people been doing of me, sir. Focus on your job. Focus on the fact that people don't know how they're going to afford their Christmas dinner, as Angela was just laying out. Focus on the fact that we have lost 1.1 million jobs in this country, and it's not even been a year that your administration has been in. Focus on the fact that we have a record number of people that have been ICE custody under your terrible policies. Focus on the fact that these tariffs are killing our small businesses and our farmers and ranchers, as we have a historic number of bankruptcies that have been filed by our farmers and ranchers. Listen, you got a lot of work to do. And if you got time to somehow be checking me out in my attire and in my nails, then frankly, that explains why we are not getting the things that we need in this country, because you are not focused. Focus, boo.
I believe you saw the lady at the beginning of this video. What she said was nothing but the truth about Jasmine. If you claim like, oh, I'm a law, this graduate, I'm this, that shows just how the level of education is degrading. When you see someone that has studied, they sound different. Nobody needs to tell you. There can be no justifications about that even. But with Jasmine, she always tried to, justify all this every single time. I don't know why. I usually call her Ghetto Democrat because of the way she has been doing. Now, running for Senate is actually what she is doing right now. The campaign is collapsing. Yeah. The momentum she thought she would be coming in with is not what she's actually witnessing.
You, of course, have been an outspoken critic of the president's mass deportation policies and of ICE. But a lot of voters, a lot of Americans who voted for President Trump think that he has done a strong job at the border. In fact, border encounter numbers are down. And The president is touting that as a success. You obviously have issues with the way he's going about it, but has the president been successful? Can you acknowledge that on bringing border encounters down?
I will acknowledge that what is being reported is that border encounters are lower. I will also say that we know that this administration has not been the most honest when it comes to reporting numbers, as we know that there's now reporting that they've not been honest about the jobs number. Humane way of carrying out immigration. What I also can tell you is that he has not worked through the Congress, and that's what we need is comprehensive immigration reform. What I also can tell you is that we have a historic number of people in ICE custody since he's been in. What I also can tell you is that we have a historic number of American citizens that have been rounded up. And what I can also tell you is that this Supreme Court, unfortunately, has basically given him carte blanche to go after people because of an accent or because of what they look like. And that is wrong.
Now, the administration will come back and say that it is the Biden administration who is inhumane by allowing chaos, in their words, to go forward at the border, that it was a chaotic policy and that there was a lot of migrants that were coming to the U.S. The Trump White House says they've cut down on that. Your response?
They may say that, but ultimately what I know is that we can't, so let me say it this way. I can't say that the border has ever been perfect, and I can't say that I believe that the border is perfect right now. So let me acknowledge that.
You know, I actually like what this journalist is doing. Asking her relevant questions. That's very important. But what I don't see with these people, they can't be honest for a second. Yeah, they can't be honest. What is difficult giving credit for basic things like closing the border? Give Trump the credit. He deserves it. He did the job. What you people cannot do, he did that. I don't know what is actually wrong with Democrats. I understand if you are opposing someone, it is good to be transparent. Just be truthful on some basic things like that without any compromise. It will not make you look less a politician. Or I don't know why they do this. I'm always saying this with Democrats. Sometimes I used to wonder if this is just their nature, or why they do this every time.
Am I hiding my glee? I'll try to wipe the smile off my face. I would say it's a gift. Colin Allred, obviously, he wasn't successful before, but he was what I would call closer to a normal Democrat than Jasmine. She is something else. What's your response?
Yeah, well, you know what? Considering the fact that normal Democrats have been losing, I think that this is absolutely the fight that we need at this moment. I also can tell you that it's quite disappointing that the senator has decided that he has to kind of tout this negative kind of persona in order to win over in his primary. I can tell you that the senator, frankly, when there came down to certain things, he was a good partner. I had legislation that I brought from the state level around fentanyl. He's been a partner on that legislation. I had legislation around food security. He's been a partner on that legislation. We actually had President Joe Biden signed a bill of ours into law that was about grant transparency. He actually was more like a normal Republican.
I don't want to make it long. I think I'm going to end here. God bless you abundantly. Please share the video. As of the short clip, that is for white algorithm.
I'm going to make a correction here. Not what I would like to have heard from you, but you did do it. So there you go.
Out. Buy what I'm selling. Yes, this is a lemon. Yes, he is selling nothing but lemons.
One thing I'll give him credit on is this bonuses to troops. He's giving them basically $1,700.
Let's see if they get the.
Well,
I want to see them get it.
Breaking through all. Put his condolences out.
Democrats think that MAGA is going to break up because of Donald Trump's criticism of Rob.
Can sit at either place. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
You and your husband were friends with Rob and Michele Reiner, and
Everybody knew that wasn't true.
A dangerous relative as a likely suspect, a tip that led to her brother Nick. Rob Reiner and Nick had a heated argument the night before at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, being back on his own. In one interview, she said,
we should have said nothing.
The United States to take this family tragedy in which the president had made no comment.
When people ought to have.
Absolute horror.
Every time that I post something positive about Trump, the comments instantly